A month back, that is July 22nd, 2025, the UK immigration implemented certain changes that has made difficult for people to get sponsored in the UK. Now, what are those changes? How do you, as an international student, get impacted by these changes? And most importantly, what has not changed? In this video, I want to dive into all these things because understanding these nuances is very important when you are planning to pursue your master's or a PhD or a bachelor's degree in the UK. So let's dive into the video. So first of all, before I begin, I have a humble request for all of you. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am spending a lot of time researching about all this content, bringing it to you at the right time. And whenever someone subscribes to the channel, it really makes me happy. And at the same time, it enables them to get my content to stay updated in a qualified, professional and reasonable manner. I do not like to post any clickbait content on this channel, so if you are someone who appreciates genuine content, then yes, you should definitely hit subscribe. Okay, now before I dive into what has changed, I want to talk about what has not changed. I know that post-study work visa is very important to you. It is an extremely crucial aspect whenever you are planning to study abroad, because just going abroad and getting a degree does not really make a lot of sense. You need to go out, you need to work for a while in that country, maybe establish yourself, pay back your education loan. Then if you want to come back to your home country, awesome. But if you are just going there to study and then coming back, the job opportunities in India might not be that great. So it is very essential that after you are done with your masters in the UK, you get to work there for a while, you build your professional profile, and then you are able to come back and look for jobs on the basis of the work experience that you will acquire in the UK. So as far as the post-study work visa is concerned, it is still 2 years. Yes, there was a proposal in the immigration white paper that was published many months back that there are talks about reducing the post-study work visa duration from 2 months to 18 from 2 years to 18 months, from 24 months to 18 months. However, it is still 24 months, it is still 2 years, so you are all good, you are safe as far as the post-study work visa is concerned. Nothing has changed related to that, so that is something that we can keep aside without any tension. Now let's talk about what has changed. But before we talk about it, let us understand what is a skilled worker visa. So once you finish your master's degree in the UK, the visa that you will be going on is known as a graduate route visa. It is a 2 years long visa on which you do not need a sponsorship from a company to work in the UK. However, once those 2 years finish, once you will be done with those 2 years, in order to continue staying in the UK and in order to continue working in the UK, you will need a company to sponsor you. Not all the companies are eligible to sponsor people for a skilled worker visa, and now not everyone is eligible to be sponsored for a skilled worker visa. This is where most of the changes have come into play. There was a time when the skilled worker visa system was being exploited like anything. There were little kebab shops or there were little grocery stores somewhere in Southall in London or somewhere in other places of the UK that were bringing in 5, 10, 15, 20 people from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, other places. They were bringing in skilled workers. They were bringing in people in pretext of being skilled workers who were nothing but day-to-day general laborers. And in fact, there was a whole black market that existed. There were some people who used to pay these business owners 10,000, 15,000 pounds that, hey, I'm paying you this money, please sponsor me. Now, the biggest change that UKVI has introduced is that if you want to get a skilled worker visa, the job occupation for which you are applying for that skilled worker visa has to have a minimum qualification level of RQF6. Now, what is RQF6? RQF6 means a bachelor's degree. What it means is only and only if a particular job profile requires someone to have a minimum qualification of a bachelor's degree, that job profile will be eligible for a skilled worker visa. Otherwise, it won't be eligible for a skilled worker visa. So let's say someone who makes kebab at a kebab shop does not really need a bachelor's degree, right? So that means that now they cannot be sponsored. So This is the first change that has been introduced. Now, if you're someone who is going for a master's degree, of course you have a bachelor's degree already. Of course, you're getting an RQF7, which is basically a master's degree. So if you're getting a qualified white collar job in the UK and someone is trying to sponsor you for that, someone is willing to sponsor you for that, this change is not going to impact you whatsoever. So the first change of the minimum qualification being RQF6, not impacting most of you. Now let's talk about the second change, which is actually impacting a lot of you. Now, I explained that after 2 years, in order to continue working in the UK, you need a skilled worker visa. Now, getting a skilled worker visa also requires that the minimum salary on the job offer that you will be getting, that you're going to use to get sponsored basically, it needs to meet a certain threshold. Now, this threshold is different for every job profile. As you can see on the screen, there is a going rate, a standard going rate written for each and every occupation. And whatever course you're planning to pursue, you can look at what the going rate for occupations related to your course or occupations related to your career track are. However, I have a good news for you. The good news is that if you are someone who pursues a master's degree in the UK, you qualify under the new entrant rule. Now, what's a new entrant rule? A new entrant rule states that whatever the standard going rate for your occupation is, you get a 30% discount on that. So let's take an example. I am in Canada, and if I want to get hired in the UK, someone will have to pay me at least £41,700 for this particular job role. But if I would have pursued a master's degree in the UK, then I qualify under the new entrant scheme. And 30% of 41,700 is actually 33,400 pounds. So even if my job offer is 33,400 pounds, I would qualify for the skilled worker visa under the new entrant rule. However, there is a catch here. That catch is that the minimum salary that needs to be offered to you has to be 33,400 pounds. And this is the reason why I said 33,400 pounds. I know that the 30% of 70% of 41,700 is less than 33,400. But the reason why I said 33,400 is that this is the minimum amount of the job offer that you need to have for a skilled worker visa. So let's say if the standard going rate for an occupation is 35,000 pounds, you apply the 70% rule on this, you apply a 30% discount on this, this amount would be around 24,000 pounds or 24,500 pounds, right? But if the job offer is for 24,000 pounds or 24,500 pounds, they won't be eligible for the skilled worker visa. The minimum offer has to be 33,400 or 70% of the standard going rate, and whichever amount is higher between these two, that would be considered when deciding whether you will be issued with a certificate of sponsorship or not. Now, if I practically talk about it, if you are attending a good university and you develop good skills and you get a good job, the first job should pay you more than 30,000 pounds, and this is the salary that you would be getting when you would be on your skilled worker visas. MBA graduates and people from technical background end up making more. Some people end up getting packages worth 45 to 50,000 pounds in the beginning itself, during their graduate route itself. However, on an average, if you are someone who is a fresher who is going after your bachelor's degree to the UK, or just after 1 or 2 years of experience, and you get a basic job, basic white collar job that pays you between 30 to 35,000 pounds, you can expect reasonably that within 2 years you can switch your jobs, or you can get internal promotions and boost your salary from 30,000 to 36,000 to 37,000 pounds. And if your salary is 36,000 to 37,000 pounds, falling under the new entrant scheme is not going to be a challenge. So the new entrant scheme is a wonderful tool for anyone and everyone who is actually qualified, who actually has some decent skills and has a good full-time job. So this is the second change that has come into play. Now, a note for healthcare professionals is that this change does not apply on you. The salary thresholds for healthcare professionals are already very low. You benefit from lower salary thresholds and you benefit from the new entrant scheme as well. So let's say if you are a physiotherapist getting a job offer at 22,000 pounds, you can still get the sponsorship. But you get way more than that. Like, I mean, I don't think any physiotherapist makes less than 35 to 40,000 pounds an year, a qualified physiotherapist in the UK. All right. Now, the third change that has been introduced on the 22nd of July 2025 is related to dependents. So now they have introduced this thing that if you want to bring in dependents to the UK, even if you are on a skilled worker visa, you need to meet a certain salary threshold. If you do not meet that certain salary threshold, you cannot bring your dependents to the UK, even if you are on a skilled worker visa. The rule before this was that you just need to be on a skilled worker visa, but now they have modified it, and now you need to be at a certain salary threshold to bring in dependents. All in all, if you take my take on all these changes, the reason is they are trying to curb immigration fraud. The people in UK were fed up because the immigration system was being abused. They are concentrating on quality, they are concentrating on qualified individuals, they are concentrating on attracting the best and the brightest. The time is gone that you could go to the UK, attend a poor university, and after attending that university, work at a grocery store for 15,000, 20,000 pounds, pay that person some money and get sponsorship. A lot of people have actually done these things, but not anymore. These jugars, these tigrams, the governments are tightening them, and it's not just the UK that's tightening them. Every country in the world at this point of time is tightening their rules to encourage quality immigration, to encourage white collar skilled immigration, as compared to people who exploit the system and abuse the system. Thank you very much. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want more content like this. I hope you liked this video, and do leave your comments on what you learned from this video. Thank you and have a lovely rest of the day.